Oscar.
That's my name. Hello.
Hello. How are you, my friend?
Pretty good, mate. Pretty good. How are you?
I can't complain.
Oh, got you.
I can't complain.
I don't usually ask how you are.
No, and it's nice that someone cares.
I don't. I just want to talk about the footy.
Fair enough.
Let's go.
Let's dive straight into it. Let's talk about the women's.
Yeah, please.
There's one round left of the regular season.
Yep.
Who do you like?
Yeah, well, first of all, special shout out to Roosters captain Isabel Kelly, who broke the NRLW record for most run meters in a game.
Oh, wow.
Over the weekend. 385 of the best.
Is that all?
From left centre, Isabel Kelly in their win over the Cowboys. She's been doing it all year, putting the team on her back. So, yes, shout out to Isabel. One game to go, as you said, in the regular season before the finals. The ladder all but locked up. Cronulla reaping the rewards of their fast start to the year. Sitting alongside Brisbane at the top of the ladder with Easts and then Newcastle, the back-to-back defending champs, thereabouts as well. So, yeah, really looking forward to this last round of games. It could be a little bit of movement to come, but I think it's going to be those four sides over the next month.
Well, they're certainly the ones that are the short price in the market. Roosters $2.75, Broncos $3.25, Newcastle $4, Cronulla $6. You had the Bronx.
Yep.
Pre-season, didn't you?
Yeah, we found Brisbane at about $4.75 earlier in the year, so really happy with how they've worked their way into the season. Unfortunately, Stacey Walker, rugby sevens convert, sounds like she's fractured her leg, so she'll be out for the rest of the Broncos season, but they've got some really good depth in the outside backs to cover her. It's just their forward rotation is stacked. They win the ruck most weeks, and then they've got the most experienced halfback, Ali Brigginshaw, on the right-hand side, and then Gail Broughton at 5'8" on the left, who's one of the most exciting attacking playmakers in the women's game. They just ask so many questions of the defence when they get in a good ball, and they get in a good ball really often. So, yeah, pretty keen on the Broncos. I think the Chooks are short at 275, I think you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, very short. Taryn Aiken's got a shoulder injury at the moment. She's their star halfback. They've got really, elite tier players in pretty much every position across the park, but some of their footy IQ at different stages this year is left a bit to be desired for the amount of time they spend attacking their opposition's line. They've got such powerful athletes, like I mentioned. Isabel Kelly is a nice example. But, yeah, they don't play with the most organised or structured attack. So out of those four sides, I think there's huge value in Cronulla at $6.
Yep.
Who went the first 5 or 6 games of the regular season undefeated. They do a lot of things. They profile similarly to the Broncos in the sense that they win the ruck often, and then they ask a lot of questions on either edge. So, yeah, I probably like I'm still with the Bronx, but, yeah, there's value in the Sharkies there.
Very nice. Let's jump over to the two Blokes games this week. We were just talking about it off air. I genuinely think that any of these teams can win.
Agreed.
This weekend. I'd love to hear what you think about some of the difference makers these teams need to have to win this weekend.
Yeah, well, big difference. I don't like picking out individuals, but Toby Rudolph, I'm sure, will be keen to make amends for probably a tough game on his standards last week for the Sharks. He summarises everything that went wrong for Cronulla last week. Absolutely bullied through the middle of the field by Melbourne. And then the pressure, the amount of defence they did early in the game, they just had no gas left through the middle. No Sharks forward ran for more than 100 metres last week. So I'm sure they'll be challenged to improve in that area, and it'll have a flow-on effect in their attack as well. Blake Brayley had almost no runs out of dummy half last week. The Sharks have looked at their best in recent weeks with Brayley getting out over the advantage line, bringing those big bodies onto the ball, and then Trindle or Hines falling into shape on the edges. That try assist for Britton Nickera from Tricky Trindle just before half-time, my mate, was so good. And that's a really good example of what the Sharks attack can do. Braden and Nico can both share first or second receiver, so it gives the defence, I guess, a lot of different looks to consider. They can't always, expect the same shapes down either side of the field, and that was a really nice variation for Nico, who runs one of the best lines in the comp. So, yeah, looking at the Sharks pack. Cowboys similarly, more so on the other side of the ball. They've just got to fix up those little lapses in concentration. There was another one around Nanai over the weekend. We know their attack is good enough to beat any side, but concentration errors. A lot of drop balls around halfway on play 4 or 5 when they're looking, or it looks like they're thinking already about the fifth tackle kick. So if they can fix those things up, that fifth tackle kick I just mentioned, Jake Clifford, he was superb last week. Found the 10 by 10 corners and really kept Newcastle kind of working out of their own end. So, yeah, that's where I'm looking for the Cowboys.
What side of the 4.5 point line are you sitting on for this one? I'm with the Cowboys. I've never really rated Cronulla.
Yeah.
I think historically we can see that on the show. But yeah, I think the Cowboys 235 look great to me, and I'll be taking them to cover as well.
Yeah, give me the +4.5 start for the Cows. I think it's going to be close. Like you said, either team can win. I probably like Cronulla, but the Cowboys can make it scrappy and keep it tight.
Cowboys beat them by a field goal the last time they saw each other in a final.
Yep.
A little bit of pub ammo for you there.
Nice.
Let's jump across to the Bird Bowl.
Yep.
It's the Roosters versus Sea Eagles.
Hey, nice.
We love a Bird Bowl. I would really like to see Manly win this one.
Yep.
I think that they're a very, very fun team to watch this year, but I just think the Roosters are too good. What's your take on this game?
Yeah, I like what you said earlier. Manly might have played their grand final last week. It could be wrong. I think there are a lot of things that they can improve on in that game, particularly in yardage. So in terms of how they worked out of their own end, I mentioned Canterbury did a really good job of targeting Lehigh Hopewadi, who played right wing for Manly on Sunday. He weighs not as much. He's a very lightweight winger, still a young kid. I'm actually a big fan of Lehigh and his development. But he got dominated on plays 1 and 2, which meant Manly were then playing off the back foot against a set defensive line, and they just couldn't work out of their own end. Their middle forwards struggled because they had to work further back behind the ball before they took a carry, and it just kind of had a snowball effect. It took some magic from DCE and Turbo and Tolu Kula to pull that game out last weekend. So, yeah, Manly have just got it. They need to adjust. If Lehigh keeps getting targeted in their own end, they've got to find a way to shift the ball or use him as a decoy and adjust there. For Easts, they need to adjust too in terms of what happened to them last week. Absolutely bullied by Melbourne. I think it's very simple for them with Walker out, with Radley out. They've just got to play a very physical, aggressive style through the middle of the field, which is exactly what the Storm did to them last weekend. So, yeah, looking for East to improve through the middle and maybe find some different involvements for Joey Manu. I thought he was underutilised last week. If they're to make it through to a prelim or even a grand final, you'd probably have to assume Joey Manu shows up on the highlight reel a couple of times.
Do you mean Penrith? They played, it was Roosters Penrith.
Last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's
against
all right.
Penrith.
No,
that's right.
but it's the same thoughts.
Correct.
Just wrong team name.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I've got one more curly one to throw at you because I like to rattle you.
Yeah. Okay.
On Sunday, 5:30 p.m. is the Q Cup final. North Devils versus Redcliffe Dolphins.
Yes, it is.
We do have one market for it on the Neds app currently.
Nice.
Norths are $1.72 to Redcliffe's $2.10.
Yep.
Who are you taking?
Yeah. Shout out to the North Devils. They beat my beloved PNG Hunters yesterday in the Queensland Cup Grand Final. I'm leading with them to get the job done. They were very, very good yesterday. And Trey Fuller has done his ACL, so he's out for Redcliffe, which
Heartbreaking.
is very unfortunate. So, yeah, give me the Devils, $1.70 odd.
That at Bishop Park, surely?
Yeah, we'll be. No, I don't know where it'll be. I think it's a neutral ground.
Or they might be at Suncorp.
No, it's not at Suncorp either. I was stinging for a ticket there last week, but anyway.
Bugger.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's the offload.
See you next week, mate.